Hello and welcome back to the State of the Game podcast. It is July 7th, 2025. I'm your host, GT, and today's episode is one that's heavy but necessary. We're talking about mental health, and not in a vague or cliche way, but real, raw, and most importantly, urgent, especially as it relates to the worlds of sports, music, and entertainment, spaces where people seem to have it all, but yet suffer in silence. So before we start, please keep in mind to keep it copacetic in the comments as you listen to the commentary. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. To God be the glory at all times. All right, y'all, let's get it. So this week, the hip-hop community was shaken by the news of Young Noble, a founding member of the Outlawz, the group handpicked by Tupac Shakur. Reports have emerged that he died by suicide, leaving behind not only his legacy in music, but questions, heartbreak, and reflection. So today we pause. We honor his life, and we unpack the reality that talent does not equal peace, and success does not cancel struggle. Okay, so let's take a look at mental health in the public eye. So let's start with the obvious, but often ignored. Being famous doesn't protect you from being human. Okay, the pressures of performing, pleasing fans, managing expectations, and living under the microscope of fame can become overwhelming. Okay, whether it's athletes, musicians, or actors, many deal with the weight of unresolved trauma, depression, anxiety, and also isolation. Okay, Young Noble wasn't just a rapper. He was a father, a husband, a man who had lived through the violent loss of Tupac, industry politics, and life in the shadow of one of hip-hop's most iconic eras. Okay, we don't know every detail of what he was facing, but we do know this: too many people are fighting battles they feel they can't talk about. In the spotlight, you're expected to be strong, confident, and grateful. But behind closed doors, many are breaking. Okay, so let's look at music and the mental toll. Let's talk about the music industry. Okay, it's glamorous on the inside, but on the outside, excuse me. But on the inside, it's often cold, demanding, and unforgiving. Okay, artists give the world their heart through their lyrics and their stories and their pain. But where do they go when they need healing? The industry praises raw emotion on the mic, but rarely provides real support behind the scenes. Okay, you can look at the pressure to perform, the constant touring with no rest, online scrutiny, especially in this day and age, financial instability even when you look rich. Trust me, you're not. And the trap of substance use to cope. Okay, for someone like Young Noble, who came from a time when black men especially were told to tough it out, so to speak, and not talk about mental health, reaching out may not have felt like an option. This isn't just about one artist; it's about a platform. From Chris Lighty to Fonte's openness, from Kid Cudi to Logic, we've seen signs. Okay, we've heard cries for help disguised as verses, but are we listening? So let's take a look at this part here, the athletic angle. Okay, let's talk about sports for a second. Think about the athletes who have made millions live on TV and seem invincible. But behind all of that, many are mentally exhausted. Okay? Look at Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka, Kevin Love, and DeMar DeRozan. All world-class athletes who bravely spoke up about depression and anxiety and needing to step away from the game. What they showed us is this. Mental strength doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you know when to speak up, okay? Too often in sports, especially for black men, being emotional is equated with being weak. Crying is seen as soft, and talking to a therapist is for those other folks. You know what I'm talking about. Young athletes are dying of suicide at alarming rates. Okay? College players, high school stars, professionals with everything to live for, and yet they feel alone. Pressure, identity crisis, injury, loss of self-worth, it all adds up. Okay? So why must we normalize the conversation? The tragedy of young Noble's passing reminds us that we must normalize mental health like we do physical health care. Okay? If your leg is broken, you go to a doctor. If your mind is burdened, you should feel just as safe going to a therapist, pastor, counselor, or even a trusted friend. So, here's what we need to be saying. It's okay to not be okay. You're not weak for needing help. Okay? You can pray and see a therapist. And being strong doesn't mean being silent. We've got to create safe spaces in our communities, churches, locker rooms, and studios where people can say, I'm hurting, and not be dismissed, judged, or ignored. Okay? Because silence is killing our brothers and sisters, okay? It's killing us, man. So, what can you do right now? So how do we make a difference? Number one, check on your people, especially the ones who seem strong, okay? The ones who say, I'm good, too quickly. Number two, listen without trying to fix, okay? Sometimes people just need a safe place and a safe space to talk. Number three, encourage therapy. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a step towards healing. Number four, speak up. Share your own story if you've battled depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. It gives someone else permission to come forward, okay? Be present. Number five, be present. Don't wait for the funeral to show somebody you care, all right? So, here's my final reflections in honor of young Noble. As we close, we honor the life of young Noble, a man who helped define a powerful era in hip-hop. A man who, like so many, faced more in silence than most people ever knew. We don't judge, we grieve. And we use his story as a wake-up call to do better. All right? If you're listening to this and you're struggling, you are not alone. Don't suffer in silence. Talk to someone, reach out. You matter, your life matters, and the world is better with you in it. All right? Psalm 34:18 says, The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Right? God sees you. People care about you. And healing is possible. Right? Thank you today for tuning in. This episode was different. It was deeper, but it was needed. Okay? If it spoke to you, please share it with someone. And if you're struggling, reach out to a loved one or contact a mental health resource in your area. Don't go through this alone, okay? Until next time, this is GT, and this has been the State of the Game podcast. Stay strong, stay open, and take care of your mind as much as your body, okay? God bless. Peace out.